Hey, how's it going? Good to see everybody. It's been a while since we've done one of these live things. I looked and I think the last one may have been in January or February. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that much time has slipped by already. Can everybody hear me? Okay, Kyle A. Hello. Got somebody from Northern Virginia, Southwest Missouri. Sean Morrow from Southwest Missouri. Hey, if you're in Southwest Missouri, you need to go to the B29 Cafe there in Ozark if you haven't already. Next time you're up in the Springfield area. Okay, yeah, good. I got somebody from France, West Central Florida, Germany. Dang, got people from all over. Got all kinds of representation. That is cool. Quinn Stevens, hello from Lewisburg, Ohio. Love watching you. Thanks. Sue Vecchio from Maine. I loved my trip up to Maine this past fall. That was the first time I'd ever really spent much time in Maine. Let's see, what's up? Can't wait to be there to help with the cleanup in a few weeks. Okay, this is really going fast. So if I miss any questions or anything like that, I apologize. I'll kind of do the best that I can. But yeah, the Currahee cleanup is going to be here in about 4 weeks. Pretty excited about that. Logistically, it has been quite the undertaking and is still kind of an ongoing thing, getting all of the details for that arranged. But very excited to get back to Koa and get Currahee cleaned up to the best that we can, and kind of get that restored to a more natural state. The big challenge with Currahee is going to be, and this is kind of a personal concern that I have, is that we're going to clean it up, and going and spray painting graffiti on the rocks of that mountain is so deeply ingrained into the local culture that, I mean, it's going to get tagged again, no doubt. So there's going to be an ongoing effort to keep it clean. But anyway, Kyle, how is the website coming along? Very close to being finished. We're in the final stages of having the website done, and I'm going to. I'm kind of waiting to release anything on the website because we have so much that's going on. I have some T-shirts designed that we're going to be putting up on the store that hopefully people will like and can kind of use to, I don't know, represent your own interest in history, and also might be getting into the coffee business. So for all of you coffee enthusiasts, we have some things in the works. So anyway, that's coming soon. Sander VK History. Good evening. Oh, Sander VK. If you haven't watched Sander VK History channel on YouTube, it's a good one. He just put out a video that I was watching this morning, and it was about the Battle of Overloon during Market Garden. Had a lot of personal meaning to me because my good friend Reed Stevens, who passed away just this past winter, he fought right there with the 7th Armored Division, right there in that area. He was just south of Overloon. He was in a town called Liesel. But anyway, let's see. Hello from South Africa. Awesome. I was in South Africa. It's been maybe 8-9 years ago. Was down on the Eastern Cape, close to about an hour or so from Elizabethtown. But yeah, went on a hunt down there. Got a kudu and blessbok, and yeah, fun times. Let's see. Hey JD, I'm going to see if I can go back up. Have you tried to reach out to Pee Wee Martin? His Tacoma man just celebrated his 100th birthday. Yeah, I saw that he celebrated his 100th birthday. That's really cool. I don't know him personally. I've never talked to him. but I know several people who do know him, and yeah, that's awesome to hit 100. Pretty phenomenal. Hello from London. Let's see. The shirt better have your face on Mount Rushmore. Nobody needs to look at this face more than they absolutely have to. Any word on when the winner of the DC trip will be announced? Yeah. So I actually just drew that name this morning and reached out to the winner. Anyway, I'll do a little video announcement. And yeah, it was a guy from New York that won the DC trip. So that was really exciting to me to be able to do that. I wish I could do more. Here's the deal. I've already got plans for a future giveaway, and I probably shouldn't even announce it before I have anything finalized. If we hit 250,000 subscribers, I think we're going to do a trip to Normandy. And see if we can. I haven't talked to him yet. Maybe link up with Paul Woodage, who is like the man in Normandy. But yeah, if I don't know if we ever will or not, but if we hit 250,000 subscribers, I think that would be huge, and I would love to give away a trip to Normandy. And I don't know if it works out in my schedule. Maybe I can, if they don't mind, maybe tag along. I think that would be kind of cool. Let's see. Oh man. Again, I apologize. Everything's moving really fast here. Let's see. One shirt need to have Andrew's Raiders on it. A little red line. Do your Civil War videos. Awesome. About the videos about that. Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. One question I have for the new video. Have you ever had a paranormal encounter? I get that question quite a bit, and the answer is no. Here's something that's kind of funny. In one of the videos that I did at Andersonville, there's one scene where I'm doing this slow motion shot right there at the gates that have been reconstructed into Andersonville, and I had so many people that whenever they saw that scene, commented and said, "Hey, there was the shadow of somebody that you caught. Don't know if you saw it or not." And thought that I had caught like the shadow of a ghost at Andersonville. Actually, it was my boy getting into my shot. He was with me that day, and but no, I haven't had any kind of paranormal encounters that I can say. Let's see. KB history request sent you an email with a photo of General William Hoffman's gravesite. I wonder if you seen it. Yes, I did see the email. I apologize that I haven't responded yet. I feel so bad about that. I get a ton of emails. So what ends up happening is I'll get like this backlog of emails that I have to reply to. And then whenever I have an afternoon, or I don't know, if I'm up exceptionally early one morning, basically if I have a block of time, I'll try and respond to those. That's something that I need to get a little bit better at, but I get quite a few emails, so it becomes easy for me to get backlogged. But thank you for sending that. That was very cool. Let's see. Grandpa Popson's first one. Would like to see you do a collab with Wit Docs. I would be all for that. Sure. I always like collaborating with different people. If I ever make it back over to Europe, I've got several people over there that I'm wanting to do some collaborations with, just because it helps me to learn. I like to learn. Let's see. Need to do a segment on the Edison Winter Estate and Laboratory in Fort Myers. I'll check that out, Bob. Thanks. Let's see. Excited for the website. As someone from Maine, I'm excited to hear you take on the far left flank at Gettysburg. Yeah, so Gettysburg, holy smokes. And I've seen a few people make comments about Gettysburg. As I mentioned in the post, gosh, I have put off doing Gettysburg, even though so many people have requested it. It's one of those things that I honestly have felt intimidated to take on, because there has been so much done on Gettysburg that I didn't know if I would have anything new or unique to offer. And there are so many people that know so much more than I do. Um, as far um, as far as the Battle of Gettysburg, but there were so many requests that came in that I went ahead and decided to knock it out. Um, what I learned while I was there is that you could probably spend the rest of your life in Gettysburg and still walk away learning something new. Um, there is just so much about that battle, and going into it, just realize that this is going to be a huge series. Like it's going to take a while for us to get through this. Um, and even whenever we get to the end, there's going to be so much that I miss, where people say, well, why didn't you cover this? Or why didn't you cover that? What I am hoping is that I can bring something new to the table, to where if people visit Gettysburg, then they'll see something that they maybe didn't know about, or maybe a little corner of the battlefield, or something in town that is new to them. Um, there were a few places that I went. I'm not gonna say where, because I don't know if they would want me to share their name or not. But there were a few locations that I went to while I was in Gettysburg, and it was interesting because I got this question a couple times. They ask, uh, "Is this going to be its own episode, or are you just lumping this in with a bunch of other stuff?" And the places are so amazing that I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's no way I could lash this in with other material." I was like, "There's so much to learn and so much to see here that yeah, this will definitely be on its own." And they were so thrilled about that, because apparently different documentaries or production companies and things like that have come in before, and they'll like use their site or use their facility for a few shots to tell another story, and it kind of leaves them with their hands up in the air saying, well, what about the rest of what we have here? There's so much to see and there's so much to learn. So anyway, yeah, hopefully people enjoy that series and are able to get something out of it. I put it out to the people on Patreon just as a sneak peek, and the response has been pretty good so far. So it's pretty humbling. Let's see how let's see. Would you consider doing a segment on Chattanooga or Chickamauga? So if you go to the playlist on YouTube, there's a tab there that says playlist, and there's one that says Civil War. I actually hit a few places in Chattanooga. I went to Lookout Mountain was one of them. Also went to the Medal of Honor Heritage Center there in Chattanooga. I didn't go to Chickamauga, but I am going to go back there at some point. Chickamauga is one of those battles that, to be honest with you, I just don't understand well enough yet. And I feel like I need to spend some more time with that battle, because if I go there, I want to do it right. A lot of places I go, and it's just kind of me experiencing things as I see it. But with Chickamauga, I want to go in prepared. I might even go a few days early and just spend some time there, and then go back and show some stuff. But anyway, yeah. Let's see. You should do a series on Shiloh. Yep, Shiloh's another one that's on my list. How long you stayed to film the miniseries? I'm assuming you're talking about Gettysburg there, Emmerich. I was in Gettysburg about 5 days, I think, or 5.5. But and I was literally filming from daylight to dark every day, and then staying up late organizing footage. which is why I feel really bad whenever people say, hey, I wish I'd have known you were there or anything like that. I need to start carving out. My days are limited whenever I go visit some of these places, but I need to start factoring in some time. That way I can, kind of link up with people. Here's what was interesting in Gettysburg that I was not expecting, and that really, really surprised me. I had several people who saw me out filming and were already viewers of the channel. I had one gentleman. I was at Spangler Spring, right there at the base of Culp's Hill, and he drove by and he hit his brakes. And I'm sitting there, holding my camera pointed at myself like a moron. And he hits his brakes and starts backing up. And I thought, uh-oh, what did I do? I must have done something wrong, or maybe I shouldn't be in the spot. Anyway, he backs up and he looks out and he's like, I thought that was you. He said, I watch your channel all the time. So that was kind of cool. And yeah, there was another guy. I was at a location there in Gettysburg, and he walked by and he said, filming some content for the channel? And I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I watch your stuff all the time. He said, so we were kind of at the top of the hill, and he was just on the other side. And he said, I heard your voice and I thought, I know who that is. So anyway, it was kind of cool to meet people who are watching the channel. Let's see. There's somebody from Sweden. I would love to go to Sweden sometime. Let's see. Love your channel. Was wondering if you thought about coming to Long Island, New York. We have much history here. Yes, I definitely want to come to Long Island and New York City. Definitely want to go to Sagamore Hill with and see mixing up my words here, and see Teddy Roosevelt's home. But yeah, there's a lot in that area that I would like to see. I've never been to New York City before, so that would be quite the experience. Ever looked into the history of medicine? I'm assuming you mean the Civil War history of medicine, and I didn't go to that museum, but would really like to. Let's see. Greg Sayer, Iwo Jima, please. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I've been trying to do a bunch of research on Iwo Jima and a visit to Iwo Jima. Here's what's so stinking complicated about it is Iwo Jima is a Japanese run island. And to the best of my understanding, they only open it up once a year. Like they have a ceremony in, I think, February. And I could be wrong about that. But what I am quite sure of is that getting to Iwo Jima is quite difficult. And I've heard rumors that Japan is allowing tourists to come basically until the last Iwo Jima veteran dies. And after that, there's a chance that they could close it off. And that would be tragic. Let's see. See, Karen Ball, thanks for the super chat. Keep up the good work. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Hello, love the content. Share it frequently. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, whenever people share out these videos, that is so helpful. And I appreciate that more than you know. Let's see. You should do Petersburg, the Wilderness, Bull Run, Chancellorsville, Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania. Yeah, I've been to Spotsylvania before. I've driven through Chancellorsville. I've driven by Bull Run. But yeah, I definitely want to hit all of those for sure. Yeah, I see several people mentioning Antietam. That's another place that I've never been that I would really like to go. Let's see. I hope that you have something about the cavalry battle on the last day of Gettysburg. It really is overshadowed by Pickett's charge. Yeah. So here's the deal. And I partnered up with some different people for this Gettysburg series. So it's not just me, because there are so many people who know so much more. So one of them is Eric Lindblade, who is co-host of the Battle of Gettysburg podcast, which is outstanding. I linked up with him. I've also been in communication with Gary Edelman from the American Battlefield Trust. He's been a great resource, and you'll see some things on the videos that there's some crossover with the American Battlefield Trust. But a lot of people, whenever they go to Gettysburg, and I get it, I understand this. I've been there twice now, and this is what I did the first time. People go to Gettysburg, they go to Devil's Den, they go to Little Round Top, and they go to the high water mark where Pickett's Charge took place, and that's about it. So I went to all of those places, but there is so much more to Gettysburg than that, and hopefully you can see a little bit of that as the series progresses. Let's see. Yeah, here's somebody, Nathan V, talking about Iwo Jima. You need permission from the government to go. Yeah. Okay, Jackie Turner says, hello from Indiana. Did you include Eisenhower's farm in the Gettysburg series? No. And that was really disappointing to me. I had that planned out. That was going to be one of the places that I went. But as with everything that is being ruined right now, it was closed down because of COVID restrictions. So I was unable to go to the Eisenhower farm. I could have went to the site, but I couldn't go inside. And to me, if I'm going to go someplace, I want to do it right if I can. I'm not saying that I always do it right, but anyway, Eisenhower Farm is going to have to be on a future trip. Let's see. You should visit Philadelphia. It all started here. Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to go to Philadelphia. Any Revolutionary War content is a huge gap on my channel right now, and I'm planning on filling that gap this year. Let's see. Voltage, the 1 million sub special, traveling to the Apollo landing site on the moon. We'll see if we can get a collaboration with Elon Musk and make that happen. Let's see. Did you get to Appomattox Courthouse? No, I did not. I've been to Appomattox before. It's been a number of years ago. Shiloh. Yeah, here's somebody asking about the World War I Museum in Kansas City. That's another one that's big on my list. See, a Pearl Harbor video would be awesome. Great excuse for a vacation to Hawaii. Yeah, my wife would really enjoy a Pearl Harbor video as well. Although I've told her that if I go to Hawaii, well, she wants to go, and she's interested in history as well. But I think her big thing would be like the beaches. I could care less about any beach unless it's Omaha Beach. So if it was just me calling the shots, I would go to Hawaii. I would go to Pearl Harbor. I would go to the USS Missouri. I would go to the National Cemetery there, maybe go see a few other things, and then head on a plane and head back home. Let's see. Padre. Or Petraeus SPDW. I'm trying to read that as fast as I can here. As it's my birthday tomorrow, I really want to thank you for this great birthday gift of the Gettysburg series. Well, happy birthday. You might not want to thank me yet until after you see it. It might be a disappointing gift. I hope not. Let's see. They will give active, okay, so back to Iwo Jima. They will give active duty Marines permission if they were at Iwo Jima. In World War II, they are given permission immediately. Yeah. Okay. Fort Sumter, Charleston. Yep, that's another place that I really want to go. Man, there's just too many places and not enough time. So I'm trying to. I'm sorry if I'm missing any comments or questions. The Pacific Aviation War Museum has a must-see if you go to Pearl. Very cool to see, including a B-17 that is being restored. Shown. Very cool. Yeah, I would love to go to that aviation museum as well. I think I follow them on Instagram. I think. And yeah. Wilson's Creek. Wilson's Creek is another one that is on the list. And the last time I checked, also had some of their facilities closed down due to COVID restrictions. So I'm putting that one off until things open back up. Jerry says Barlow's Knoll, this is at Gettysburg, is amazing. For some reason, people don't understand how much activity happened right in the town itself. That is a great point. I didn't make it to Barlow's Knoll. There's a chance that I might be going back just on business, and if I do, I'm going to try and go to Barlow's Knoll. But yeah, you are absolutely correct that people don't understand just how much of a role the town played. Again, everybody looks at the Round Tops and they look at Pickett's Charge and Devil's Den. There's a lot of urban combat that happened in Gettysburg. I mean, that battle swept right through the town from the west and from the north, and then came all the way through the south. And then there was fighting that was going on at the edge of town throughout the entire battle. So hopefully I can show a few of those places and kind of put that on people's radar. Let's see. Real Civil War uniforms at Gettysburg Museum. Amazed at how small they are. Yeah, those guys were pretty small. Here's something. Fort Michilimackinac. I think you're referring to maybe the place up in Michigan, I think. Okay. See, Jackie Turner, Bedford, Virginia, and D-Day Memorial is a beautiful place. Story behind the Bedford boys is so tragic. Kershaw's book is a must-read before visiting there. Yeah, I'm wanting to go to Bedford, Virginia as well. And I've heard a lot of good things about that place. Let's see. Tiffany Whitmer says Jenny Wade's house. That seems like it would be a good place to visit. Let's see. Eastern State Penitentiary would be unique and cool. Your cinematography skills would do well there. Oh, thank you. That I would enjoy that. Sander VK History. When's there going to be a video with Jocko Willink? I don't know. Jocko is an extremely busy individual, but there has been some communication through different channels about maybe collaborating with him on something at some point. I don't want to give really any details or anything, but he has an insanely busy schedule, so that would be cool though. Let's see. Check out the Adams County Historical Society YouTube channel for the great videos about Gettysburg. Yeah, and another one is the American Battlefield Trust. They have some amazing resources. Here's one thing that I learned. Well, I guess I already knew it, but I guess kind of relearned it. Is that if you go to YouTube and you type in Battle of Gettysburg, what you get is kind of the view of Gettysburg from 30,000 feet, where they talk about like the big actions of the battle. And one of the good things about the American Battlefield Trust is you can go back, and I think on like the anniversaries of the Battle of Gettysburg, they'll do these live events, and you'll see Gary Edelman on there and Tim Smith, and there are several others. And just the depth of knowledge that these people have about that battle, and where they can just rattle off, oh yeah, well, here's where the 2nd and the 7th Wisconsin and the 19th Indiana were on the first day of the battle, and the 6th Wisconsin moved over here, and they just rattle off all of this stuff, and you're like, wow, how do you know this? But they do a really good job of taking this big battle and kind of breaking it down into its individual parts. And they have some excellent map animations too that really help with understanding the battle. And that's what I'm hoping to do on a small scale to any degree that I can, is to help take this big battle and break it down into its more individual parts. Let's see. I'm just picking up one here. Hello from England. Really want to get back to England. I've been there once. I was only there for a few days. Great way to learn about U.S. history. Loved your World War II diner video. Yeah. And I wish that there was a way to transmit the smell through the computer because, oh my gosh, that place was so good. I don't even want to talk about it because it's just going to make me hungry. Hope the Curry Heat cleanup project goes well. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that more than you know. Let's see. A restaurant in Gettysburg is home to a stop on the Underground Railroad. Interesting. I don't know if I... Wait a minute. I think I know what place you're talking about, and I think I actually reached out to them, but I never heard back. But yeah, that would be cool on a return trip. So you got to hook up with Matt from Addressing Gettysburg. Addressing Gettysburg, is that a podcast or a YouTube channel? That might be something that I have to check out. See, Gary Edelman loves his job. Yes, he does. He is passionate. Let's see. Warren Armour asking if I'm going to visit any more Civil War battlefields. Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot of Civil War content here in the future. Again, you can take these big battles. Like you can go and do one video on Gettysburg, or you can spend some time there and really break it down and get a lot of videos, which is what I did. I really, really hope that people don't hate me by the end of this Gettysburg series, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, we're going to be on Gettysburg through July, maybe, and that's with running 2 episodes a week. But I'm hoping to tell some stories and show some places that people are unfamiliar with. But anyway, yes, to answer your question, there's going to be a lot of Civil War content in the future and other things too. Let's see. You were close to my house when you were in Prophetstown. Whoa. Hang on. Let me go back. What was something interesting you learned while there? To be honest, the interesting thing that I learned at Prophetstown was about the Battle of Prophetstown. That was something that I just didn't know a whole lot about. So the whole, battle there with William Henry Harrison and, the Battle of Tippecanoe, I didn't know a whole lot about that era or that battle. So that whole experience was really enlightening to me. Let's see. Are you thinking of doing anything on D-Day this year? Hang on. I think that's what the question was, and it just flew by me. I don't know about D-Day in particular, but I am going to have some World War II content interwoven into this Gettysburg series, and you'll just have to see how that fits in. But there is some crossover. Well, not crossover necessarily, but yeah, you'll just have to see. Let's see. Greetings from Central Ohio. Have you ever visited Camp Chase Confederate Cemetery in Columbus, Ohio, and seen the Lady in Gray? No, not familiar with that. Let's see. JD, this is from Mr. Ooks Sargent. Planning a trip to Norway next year. Try and find some World War II sites for you. Oh my gosh. I would love to go up the Atlantic coast there and see some of the Atlantic Wall in Norway. One town I'll be visiting in the trip is Bergen, Norway, home port to many U-boats. Yeah, that'll be awesome. And I would love to hear anything that you have. Let's see. If you ever come to South Africa again, please contact me. There's a war museum in Johannesburg that you would love to see. That would be cool. I didn't spend any time in Johannesburg whenever I was in South Africa. I was just there for a layover before I went down to Elizabethtown. Let's see. Any recommendations for books on the Civil War? McPherson's book called The Battle Cry of Freedom is a good one for just like a big picture view of the Civil War. I really liked that book. And then Stephen Sears, his book on Gettysburg is another one that I would recommend. It was really good. Greg Sayer, no problem about how many videos. That's why we're here. Okay, well, I'm glad. Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of Gettysburg content, but hopefully it's not the same stuff that you're familiar with. The Dobbin House Tavern. I think that's the place that, had the Underground Railroad. Yeah, and like I said, I reached out to them, but never heard anything back. Let's see. Could you do something on the 28th Infantry Division? My grandfather was at Utah Beach in World War II, but never talked about the war. It's from Mark Hewitt. Yeah, I would like to. I would like to do that. If and when I do return to Normandy, it's not if, it's when. I will go back there at some point. I've heard that travel restrictions might be loosening up a little bit, and they might be allowing some travel, hopefully sooner rather than later. But anyway, I want to try and cover the stories and the places of some of the lesser known divisions, or maybe just the stuff that you don't get every day. So there's a lot of stuff on like the 29th Infantry Division and the 1st Infantry Division there at Normandy. And I would like to link up with Paul from World War II TV and move in a little bit and tell some other stories. Let's see. Matt Atkinson at Gettysburg at American Battlefield Trust is who you should link up with. He has just about as much passion as you do about history. Follow him on YouTube as well. Yeah, his stuff is really good. He's a fun guy to watch. And he knows just so much. See, have you ever thought about covering anything on the Black Hawk Wars? I'm going to go ahead and I would like that. My depth of knowledge on the Black Hawk Wars is pretty darn shallow. So I would like to do that just so that I can learn a little bit more. Let's see. Somebody's talking about a book, Confederates in the Attic. I actually have that book somewhere here. It's been a long time since I've read it, though. Let's see. Somebody's saying, "Oh yeah, like your shirt, we the people." Yeah, so that's there you go. That's an Origin shirt. So if you go to originusa.com or originmaine.com, you can punch in the code history10 and get 10% off of this. Yeah, I really like this shirt. Let's see. Bob Bevel, what kind of camera equipment do you use? So right now, I am running a Panasonic GH5, and a lot. Okay, so this is for the tech nerds. A lot of the content that I shoot is with a Panasonic 14-140 lens, and then there's another wide angle lens that I have that gets better low light that I'll put on. I think it's made by Tamron, and I just got another lens from Panasonic, and just to invest in it and have something a little bit better low light. But anyway, yeah, Panasonic GH5 is kind of the go-to. Keep waiting for them to release the GH6, but I don't know. I'm starting to think that's a dream. Let's see. Hello from the Spangler Farm in Gettysburg. Awesome. Any idea when the farm segment will? Oh, hey, Paul. Great work you're doing bringing history to everyone. So the Spangler Farm, hang on just a second. I'm looking at my calendar here. Will probably be beginning of July, I think, is what we're looking at for whenever I go to the Spangler Farm. Yeah, which, oh man, so awesome. I loved my visit there. Let's see, I went to Gettysburg, was planning on staying for one day, ended up staying for 6. Been to the Civil War rabbit hole for almost 2 years there. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you could spend 6 days at Gettysburg and then stay another 6 and still be learning new things. Let's see. Past preservation. Great. Whoop, 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 whoop. It just slipped by me. Crud. Somebody was saying, oh, yeah, there's great-great-grandfather was in the 9th Louisiana Infantry, fought from 61 to 64, and then was medically discharged. Yeah, I had a couple that great-great-great-grandfathers that were in the Civil War, fought, for the Union. One of them ended up at Andersonville. Had another one that was at the Battle of Lookout Mountain and got hit with some shrapnel in the jaw. Anyway, do you think you will ever come to Montana to do some videos? I would love that. I need to get to Little Bighorn at some point, but I love Montana. Yeah, Shelby Foote. Somebody mentioned Shelby Foote having 3 books about the Civil War. Yeah, that's another good one. Let's see. Addressing Gettysburg is Matt's Instagram. You guys would be great together. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll go back and read these comments later if I miss them, because I want to see what everybody has to say. So I apologize that it's kind of moving fast for me. Let's see. Peacemaker 121772 found your channel a while back. Don't remember exactly, but it popped in my recommendations, and since then haven't skipped a video since. Oh, well, thank you. Being a history buff myself, love watching your videos. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, that's one thing that I've really loved about the channel is just how much that I've learned. Yeah. See, Matt DTT, you should definitely do more historic weapons videos if you own more. I've thought about that. Yeah, I may do that. I've wanted to. Oh, was it Hickok 45 has a channel? I reached out to him one time about doing a collaboration on some historic weapons and never heard back from him. Which I get that's a channel that's huge. But yeah, that video with the British Enfield with the grenade launching cup was that thing is so much fun. Let's see. Oh, I just saw something about. Oh crud! Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch some of these. There was one question that I saw. Okay, yeah, here Frank Casey says maybe something on the American POWs at the Battle of the Bulge. So if you'll go back to, I don't even remember what episode it is, but it's that series where I was in France and Belgium. You can go to the playlist on YouTube and either look under World War II or under the France-Belgium series. There's a video that I did, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's from St. Vith. So I have a friend who was taken as a prisoner of war at St. Vith, and we go back to the exact spot where he was taken prisoner. So I hit on that a little bit, but I would love to go back to that area around the Battle of the Bulge and link up with some people around there. I know Joey from Snafu Docs. He really has his head wrapped around that area quite well, and I would like to link up with him and do some work there again. Let's see. Dean Benedict, where does all the money come from for your traveling? So there was a video that I did. It's been a little while back where I talk about that. I'm very frugal, and the things that I invest in are experiences. So if you were to see my truck, I drive an old 02 Dodge Ram that is rusted out on the sides, but it's still running. I live pretty simple. And then that allots me, the opportunity to allocate money elsewhere. Whoops. And just try to be disciplined with my finances. If I'm not independently rich, I know that a lot of people have that impression. I'll get comments that say, "Oh man, it must be nice to be able to afford to just travel all the time." And I agree, it must be nice. That's probably one big misconception with the channel is that I'm just 365 days a year just traveling around. Really, what you see on the channel are short bursts. So, for example, I was in Gettysburg for a week, and that's going to last 2 or 3 months. I was in Maine for a couple days. I was up there with the people from Origin. That was, I think, 3 days that I was there. But whenever I'm filming, I'm literally going from daylight till dark, just gathering as much content as I can. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Hey JD, I've posted several times. You always respond. That's amazing. Thanks, Dennis. I try and respond as much as I can. My original, I guess philosophy was if somebody was going to take the time to leave a comment on a video, then I should take the time to respond. That has become more and more difficult, and I'm finding that there's not enough hours in the day to respond to every comment that is left. So my new policy, or what I try to do, is whenever I post a video, like I'll try and respond to every question, or not every question, but every comment, within the first 12 to 24 hours. I do my best, and hopefully people aren't offended if I don't respond, because it's not anything that is intentional at all. Yes, John McElroy's Ghost, a World War II tour of St. Vith. Yeah. So there were a couple of things in St. Vith. So the uncut one, or the bonus episode, is the one right after where I'm up on that ridge just to the west of St. Vith, and we find the foxholes and call back and talk to my buddy. And you also in that episode get to hear some of the personal testimony of the gentleman who was there and who was taken prisoner. He was. We lost Reed last year, late last year, and man, I miss him more than I can possibly put into words. He was a heck of a guy. Let's see. Have you heard the American Civil? I'm sorry. Well, look at me. I can't even read. Have you heard the Irish American Civil War song "Whiskey in the Jar" called "We'll Fight for Uncle Sam"? Okay, so I've heard Metallica's rendition of "Whiskey in the Jar." I haven't heard the "We'll Fight for Uncle Sam," so I'll have to look that up. Let's see. Had two probably another great uncles, brothers that were in the war. The one found the other on the way home right after the war, gut shot. Wow, man, there's just so many stories from these conflicts, man. Let's see, Matthew Stapleton. Here's a good question. What preparation do you do prior to visiting a location? Okay, I'm going to give two answers to that question because there's two different approaches. There are sometimes I just roll up to a place, and what you are seeing in the video is literally what I'm seeing at the same time. So we're kind of experiencing this site together. Now, that can kind of get me into trouble because there's a high risk of me sounding even more like a moron than what I actually am. But hopefully, people will give me a little bit of grace in those moments. There are other times where I'll put in quite a bit of research beforehand. So, for example, and I don't have the book here. Prior to Gettysburg, I read the book Gettysburg by Stephen Sears. I spent a lot of time on maps. A crazy amount of time. Whenever I went to Normandy and to Belgium, I don't know how many hours I spent just looking at old historic maps, looking at stuff on Google Earth, just an inordinate amount of time. And then I'll try and, if I didn't do this as much, but I'll try and link up with people as well who can kind of help to teach me. So for example, with the Gettysburg series, I mentioned Eric Lindblade, who has the Battle of Gettysburg podcast. Also linked up with Tim Smith from the Adams County Historical Society and also the American Battlefield Trust, and you know, people at these different sites. So that helps out, you know, a little bit as well. Let me go back up. Hi, mate from Australia. Really looking forward to the Gettysburg series. Thanks. Really want to get down to Australia at some point. I knew a girl. I know a girl, I guess I should say, who lives in Sydney, and yeah, she just a great girl, but was teaching me how to speak Australian, because what I discovered is that Australians have a different brand of English. There's I guess American English, and then there's Australian English. So I found out that like McDonald's is not McDonald's down there. You call it Macca's. And what was another one? What we would call flip-flops. Australians call pluggers. And like there was just like this endless list of the Australian words. I think good afternoon, arvo, I think. And what we would call a redneck, they would call bogan. Yeah, but anyway, Australian English is a lot of fun. Let's see, ever looked into history of disasters and diseases outside of war, like Titanic or influenza history? Yeah, definitely. I wanted to go to the Titanic Museum in Branson, and they politely told me no. So, yeah, I don't know. It's free advertising for them. I wasn't, you know, I don't charge to have your museum on my channel. I don't charge for anything. But no, they weren't interested in it. So I was like, oh, okay. But so I'll have to find a different way to tell the Titanic story. Maybe there's another place I can go to. Influenza history. Yeah, that one's difficult unless I went to Kansas and went to where the epicenter of it was. I did. Okay, so you mentioned influenza history. There was one video that I did in France. It may have been the first video where I talk about, and I guess this kind of crosses over with some of the military stuff. But I went to a cemetery there where there are a lot of victims of the Spanish flu. Anyway, let's see. Love your channel. Have you been to the Reagan or Nixon libraries in California? No, I have not. But Reagan is one of my favorite presidents, right up there with Teddy Roosevelt. So I would love to go there. Okay, let me go down a little bit here. Sander VK, I'm buying an MG42 in a few weeks. Oh my gosh. But can you shoot it? All right. Greg Harding says, love the uncut St. Vith video with the Belgian 14-year-old SS NCO. Paul, that was, yeah, Hans was his name. I will forever be grateful for that encounter where we ran into that guy and got a little bit of his story. And unfortunately, I had somebody from that St. Vith area reach out to me, and that gentleman passed away. I think that was last year or something, early last year. He passed away. So I was sad to hear that, but at the same time, I felt so fortunate that that we met him and got to hear a little bit of his story and be able to share it with others as well. Let's see, Nicole Lee, where do or can I find old maps? Online, you can find a lot of old maps. Another good resource is the Library of Congress. You can go on their website and they have a lot of period maps that they've digitized, and you can go check out. So you've been to Wilson's Creek several times. I've also been to Pea Ridge, Arkansas, and Carthage. I haven't been there. Kid Channel, thank you for the super chat. Jesus died for our soul. Americans died for our freedom. Never take either for granted. Thank you for all of your content out there. Amen to that. Appreciate that. I think that's a message that all of us would do well to take to heart. Lindsay McPherson, bangers or snags? Oh, that's Australian. I don't know what I just said. I hope it wasn't bad. Smedley Dowright, when does the Gettysburg show start? Starts tomorrow. Is going to be the very first episode at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And then I got so much content that we're going to start doing we're going to be in a rhythm of doing 2 episodes a week. So Sunday and Wednesday, there'll be a new episode unless something awful happens and I can't get an episode out. But I'm going to do everything I can to maintain that 2 episode a week rhythm. Let's see, Alex. Oh wait, let me hit another one. The Jumbo Jet Set. Would you, when all this is over, come to the UK and see Churchill's war rooms in London? Churchill is one of my favorite historical figures of all time, and I would love to do that. That would be near the top of my list, coming to London for sure. Alex Crabtree, have you ever thought about doing videos on biblical sites? Yeah, that is going to happen one of these days. So my brother has been to a number of these places. He's been to Israel. He went on an archaeological dig in Jordan. He would be a good one to bring along for something like that, because when it comes to like ancient history and biblical history, my brother is an encyclopedia, and his depth of knowledge is just incredible. But I definitely want to do that. I would like to go to Greece and Turkey and hit some of those biblically historic sites as well. Let's see, Voltage, telling the Titanic story. Grab a door and swim to the iceberg. Yeah, that would be quite the compelling story. Let's see. Let's see, for the Titanic Museums, they are under a lot of copyright laws from the 90s. That's why they're so strict with pictures and such. Oh, okay. Well, that explains it. I didn't know that. Let's see, there's another Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge. Okay. I'll have to keep that on the back burner. Mark Hewitt, I have a chance to buy an SS armband, but I need to look into it to make sure it's 100% legit. It's not cheap. Yeah. Definitely get a second opinion and maybe a third opinion on that stuff, because there's a lot of fake stuff out there on the market that you really have to be careful of. Let's see. War rooms are super cool to visit. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sorry, I'm just kind of scanning some of this. Anzac Beach is amazing. That would be cool for sure. See, there's an old German POW site in Hoopston. I think that's how you say that, Illinois. Yeah, there. People don't realize just how many Axis POW sites were scattered all over the United States, but a lot of them are just gone now because they tore them down right after the war. So there have been a few videos. Let's see, one at Jefferson Barracks. Maybe been the very first video that I ever did, where I visit some German and Italian POW graves. And then whenever I was in Chattanooga, I think it may be the video that's the grave of Desmond Doss. There are several German POW graves there. Let's see if if you could own one weapon, vehicle, aircraft from history, what do you pick? The weapon? Okay, I'm just gonna shoot from the hip here. The weapon would be a BAR. I think that would be pretty darn cool. Or a Tommy gun. Man, that's a tough question because the answer is so long. Vehicle, Sherman tank. That'd be awesome. By the way, there's a place that I went to in Gettysburg. There's this family who is opening a museum. I don't know if I want to give too much away now. Okay, I'll tell you. It's called World War II: The American Experience. And I got to go see the museum's being built right now, and I got to go do like a little preview of it. Holy smokes, it's the most insane collection of World War II vehicles and World War II everything that I've ever seen. And I cannot wait to show that episode. And if I could own an aircraft, if I could have a B-17 in my backyard, I think my life would be complete. All right. Favorite site in Gettysburg. Ooh, dang. Gosh, I hate to be so cliche, but that view from Little Round Top, where you're standing next to the statue of Gouverneur K. Warren, man, that is so hard to beat. And it's there's like a picture of it that on that Gettysburg trailer that I released. If you saw that, I kind of ended with that old photo. I don't know if you can beat that view and that spot. Runner up for me. I'll give the runner up since everybody would probably say Little Round Top. The runner up, I might say the wheat field. There was something about the wheat field that I found really compelling. But anyway, let's see. Another Titanic Museum in Ireland. Looks like I need to go to Ireland then. Let's see. What has fueled your love for history so much? If you and your brother are both into history in some aspect, must have been an incredible influence. Yeah, I would probably attribute that to my grandpa, on my mom's side especially, and also my grandpa on my dad's side. But he died whenever I was young. I was 12, but he told me a lot of stories, or some stories from whenever he was in World War II. But my grandpa really told me a lot about, he was always telling a story. My brother and I both stories about growing up during the Depression and growing up, with the hardships that his family faced, and then fighting in the Korean War. And then my dad was really big into history in a different way. And it's kind of funny how my brother and I turned out. Like my big thing that I've always taken interest in is Civil War history, World War II history, World War I, kind of American history from the Civil War on is really what I gravitate to. And my brother, his wheelhouse is like I said, ancient history and biblical history. So between the two of us, we kind of cover a little bit. Maybe I don't know, maybe we have a cousin who's into ancient Chinese history or ancient Asian history, and we can cover all the bases. Let's see. Got to see a Sherman tank in Normandy where the first soldier died after being sniped. Somebody else going forward. Wow. Let's see. Smedley Dowright. I'd like to buy a World War I bolt action rifle because I could take them to the range and shoot them if there's ammo for them. Well, there's definitely ammo for them. Because that would have been, if you're talking about the American firearm. That's a 30-06 round. Let's see. Camp Blanking. Whoop, lost it. Camp Blanking, Florida, near Jacksonville, still has remnants from World War II German POW history. Still active training site for the Florida National Guard. Just really cool history. Interesting. Okay. There's a correction on the spelling. Blanding. I'll have to check that out because that would be. I've wanted to tell some sort of story, and I've just needed to find a place to do it about the Axis POWs because I think there's some interesting things that can be drawn from that because a lot of those German POWs who came to the U.S. Ended up immigrating back to the United States. Like they got here and they liked it so much that they wanted to stay. And I find that story pretty compelling. And I think it speaks well of the way that we treated our prisoners of war. I can remember going back and talking about my friend Reed again. Where was he training at? I think he was in North Carolina at that point. And he said every morning, whenever they would go out to march, they would march right by a German POW camp. So this would have been in 43. And he said, here they are. They're loaded down with these like 75, 100-pound packs, and they're busting their tail. And they would march by the German POW camp every day. And those guys were out there playing basketball and relaxing and, having a pretty easy life. Let's see. If you're ever back in Belgium, you should visit Fort Ibn Email. I am 100% sure I just butchered that name. That's a very impressive tour. Might see the damage the hollow charges did on the inside. Wow. I would like to see that. There's so much in Belgium that I want to see. Whoa. Sorry. Any plans for Southwest exploration, Tombstone, Arizona? Yes, for sure. I would like to go down there. There's a guy who has a channel called Hunt Stash History that I would recommend. And he goes to a lot of places where they have like these old cave paintings, I guess you would say them. But his channel is really interesting, and I would like to link up with him and have him take me to a few of those places. And I would definitely like to go to Tombstone because that's my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. The problem with Tombstone is it's so stinking far in the south. But yeah, I definitely want to go. Let's see. Again, Baltimore, Gettysburg, try to get there. Frank Casey, I'm just now getting to your super chat. Thank you so much. I have to go. I'll be watching tomorrow's Gettysburg episode. Thank you for answering my question. Take care. Frank from Philadelphia. Thanks, Frank. I really do appreciate that. And appreciate the super chat. Let's see. Tyler Johnson, about ready to graduate in 2 weeks with a BA in American History from the University of Kentucky. Congratulations. Let's see. Just appalled at the huge amount of traffic and development and growth around Gettysburg since I reenacted 91 and 92. Naval vet from 70 War 75. Yeah. So I can't speak on that because I didn't know what Gettysburg looked like in 91 and 92. I heard, who was it that was telling me this? Somebody said they talked to a resident in Gettysburg and said that Gettysburg got invaded twice, once from the Confederates and the second time from all of the tourists. So tourism started in Gettysburg really right after the battle. And I was watching one of the American Battlefield Trust videos, and I guess there were some things that they had there that me personally, I would be appalled at today. Apparently there was like a little rail system that went right through the battlefield at one point, like right through, I think, Devil's Den. And they had like little shops set up there. And fortunately, those have been torn down. But one of the cool stories about Gettysburg is Lee's headquarters. how the American Battlefield Trust purchased it. And I guess there was like a big motel there at one point, and they turned the headquarters into a gift shop, and they really worked to restore it. So yes, I would agree that the developmental growth, man, it's kind of sad to see. But at the same time, it's also encouraging to see some of the restoration. But dude, the traffic in Gettysburg was insane. And I wasn't even there during like peak tourist season. And the big trucks driving through town, truckers, I love you. I love what you do. I love how you keep America supplied. But rolling through Gettysburg got on my nerves a few times. I wish there was a road around Gettysburg that that could be taken. It was quarry trucks, and well, there were some big rigs there. But anyway, let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling through some comments here. When the border opens up again, this is from Pierre Acoin. Hope I didn't mispronounce your name there. Sure I did, because I'm terrible with pronunciations. When the border opens up again, a trip to Grand Prix, Nova Scotia to discover the Acadian diaspora would be very interesting. That would be interesting, because I don't know anything about it. I have a lot of research ancestors part of this disaster. Interesting. Let's see. Talk Ridge. What was the first place you had to visit on the battlefield of Gettysburg? So as I mentioned earlier, I've been there twice. The first time, where did I go the first time? I think the first place that I went to on the first trip that I took to Gettysburg was the Virginia Memorial, where Pickett's Charge went out from. That was the first place that I went to. On this past trip, the first place was the Peach Orchard, because mainly there was nothing significant to it. It's just where I happened to be meeting Eric Lindblade and linking up with him. Let's see, John McElroy's Ghost. Any interest in exploring old abandoned mines? Absolutely, just as long as I don't get stuck there. Whoop, 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 whoop. Peacemaker. Speaking of Korea, that's where my dad was. Yeah. Yes, my grandpa was in the 40th Infantry Division. And amongst the hundreds and hundreds of other places that I want to go, Korea is one of them. Ideally, so I've got a photo album with some pictures that he took while he was in Korea. And he has some writing on the pictures. And man, I wish I would give anything if I could get just another hour with my grandpa to talk to him and just ask him some questions. But anyway, I've got a photo album, and he has some hills listed, like Hill 1062, I think is one of them. And I would like to go back to that spot because I think it's on the south part of the DMZ. I think I'd have a little trouble getting into the north. But I would like to go try and retrace his steps. So I need to link up with the 40th Infantry Division Museum in California and see if we can maybe figure out exactly where they were in Korea. Because I think that would, personally, that would mean a lot to me to be able to go and kind of retrace his steps. See, Wheatfield at Gettysburg really resounded with me as well. Yeah, here's something that Eric told me. He's a licensed battlefield guide, and he said that he actually doesn't spend much time in the Wheatfield because everybody who comes to Gettysburg, they want to go to the high water mark at Pickett's Charge. They want to go to Little Round Top and Devil's Den just because it's kind of a cool place. And the Wheatfield is right there. It's right next to Devil's Den, but doesn't get much attention. Let's see, past preservation. Weren't there people that went to see the battle while it was going on? Kind of. there are some accounts of people in Gettysburg, like in the town itself. There's one in particular where this guy grabs his son and they go up on the roof, and he says, "You'll never see anything like this again." It was during that pre-charge bombardment on the last day of the battle. As far as going like to the battle itself and checking it out, I'm not aware of any cases like that. Now you do see that with Bull Run during the first battle of Bull Run. People were coming out from Washington D.C. and getting up on the hill, and they had like a picnic, and they were going to watch the battle, and then it got pretty gruesome. But really, right after the battle, that became a huge tourist destination because people realized right off the bat just how important it was and just what had happened there. Of course, that's why Lincoln goes to say a few words in the dedication of the cemetery. Yeah. Let's see, off topic, but can you talk about Salem, the witch trial specifically? I think that would be a cool one to do as well. Yeah, again, just like these others, just need the time and money to get there. Let's see, I've been to Gettysburg twice. It's amazing during the 300th anniversary of the battle. Ooh, I don't know if it was the 300th anniversary. That might have been a typo. Canceled the parade because two incorrigibles stole a car and ran it into the front of a house. Oh my gosh, people are dumb. So Sander, VK History, have you done any military service yourself? I get that question quite a bit, but no, I don't. I get that question a lot, though. I don't know. I guess maybe I give off that vibe. Let's see. Go to Ireland. Make a few videos of Irish history over the past 100 years. I would like that. I would like that a lot, Phil. Have some family that came across the Atlantic from Ireland. So you should really consider coming to Valley Forge. Yep, that's definitely on the list. I recently read The British Are Coming by Rick Atkinson on the first year and a half to 2 years of the Revolutionary War. So I would like to come to Boston and New York and kind of hit those areas during those first years of the Revolution. Again, that's kind of a gap that I have. Got a few more minutes, and then I'm going to need to peel out of here. Got a family thing going on this evening that I need to give my attention to. Sorry, 150th anniversary. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I make mistakes like that all the time. I lost my place here. There was something I was going to say. See, will you be touring the cemetery at Gettysburg? Yes. There are actually two cemeteries at Gettysburg, and each of them have a pretty unique story. I'm not going to tip my hand, but there's one of the cemetery videos that personally I'm pretty excited about because I think it's going to be cool. Past preservation, you're going to a super spreader party, aren't you? Yeah. All right, let's see. Gina Ray, we must never forget this history, as powers that be would love nothing more, I think is what that was going to say, than to see this nation turn into another civil war. Yeah, that's part of the reason why this channel exists. So it's obviously educational in nature, but I think that learning history serves so many good purposes. But one of them is that it gives you perspective. I've heard people say, that Things are worse now than they've ever been. I don't know. Pretty bad during the Civil War. And I think that anytime we can get people to learning more about history, um, it has a unifying effect. This is something that all of us can rally around because we all have this common history. So yeah. Let's see. This ties into. Oh, wait a minute. I must have missed something. Somebody said something about the movie Glory. This ties into the movie Glory, the first battle of the Civil War. Okay, I must have missed something there. Can't wait to see the series come to life. I'm all ready to be educated. Yeah, I learned so much. That's why I like doing this channel so much. Is I learn, and then people can kind of learn right along with me. Any famous graves or battle sites in the lower part of South Carolina you would recommend? In the lower part of South Carolina. Man, I don't know if I have anything off the top of my head other than like some of the big sites that everybody else would recommend. So sorry, I don't know if I have anything on that. I need to get to South Carolina. Let's see. It's so nice to see your smile. Don't see it much on the videos. Yeah. Well, thank you. I guess I should say. Let's see. Warren Armor. I've seen all of your videos and love them. Please don't stop. Don't listen to the negative folks. So the negative comments. I don't want to encourage any negative comments, but man, the negative comments are the best part of my day. Like waking up and reading how people get spun up over some of the most silly things is just amusing to me. And here's what I've been taking a lot of heat for recently is on the Mount Vernon videos, the stuff with George Washington and slavery. I took quite a bit of heat for that stuff. And really, I thought that I went to great lengths to kind of explain that slavery was wrong and was a terrible institution that should have never happened. And yet people still found ways to accuse me of being an apologist for slaveholders and for supporting white supremacy. I've been called a white supremacist and an apologist for racists, and there have been all kinds of crazy things that came out of that. But yeah, it's funny to see what people get spun up about. Let's see. Please do a video sometime on Culp's Hill. I think you're going to enjoy a few videos that I have laid out for the future. Spent some time on Culp's Hill. Recommendations for finding colorized old-time photographs would help to better understand history like the Civil War. Dang, I don't have any good recommendations off the top of my head. I see people on I see stuff on Instagram and on Twitter of people colorizing photos, but yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my head. Sorry. Let's see. What's negative about history? People can be taught wrong and don't realize. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Let's see. Which historian do you regard as the best on the Civil War? Bruce Catton, Shelby Foote, or others? Man, there's so many good ones. So many good historians. I mentioned earlier the book that I read by, oh my gosh, I've lost his name now. Stephen Sears. I thought his book on Gettysburg was outstanding. Let's see. John McElroy's Ghost. I confess to having a good time in comments poking fun at defenders of lost cause revisionist history. Try not to be rude. Yeah, I'm the same way. And I always, even whenever people say something terribly negative or hateful towards me, always 100% of the time, I'm going to be polite, going to be professional. Yeah, I think that's how you turn away wrath is with a kind word, but harsh words stir up anger. It's out of the book of Proverbs. Let's see. Love the Mount Vernon video since I'm in Virginia. Yeah, the Mount Vernon stuff was fun. I didn't give myself enough time at Mount Vernon. I spent half a day there, and I should have devoted the entire day to going to Mount Vernon. So I guess I'm going to have to go back. Let's see. Daniel Hill, love the balanced videos on Mount Vernon. Thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. That's helpful. Some people would complain in heaven. Just kidding. Yeah. That's true. Some people just need to complain, I guess. So anyway. Okay. Well, hey, I am going to have to run. Thank you all so much for taking a little time this afternoon to come and chat with me a little bit. I enjoyed it. Appreciate all of the support, all of the kind words. And yeah, tomorrow, I guess we will launch in this outlandishly massive series on Gettysburg that is going to take us forever to get through. But hey, if you have a chance to share the channel and get some other people interested in history, feel free to do so. If there's a video from time to time that you find compelling, yeah. And like I said earlier, if we hit 250,000 subscribers, hey, we're going to Gettysburg. My gosh, I've got Gettysburg on the mind. We're going to do a trip to Normandy, I think. But who knows? That's way down the line. But anyway, thanks so much, and appreciate you all. Have a good day.